I hope you're able to see my screen. Did we do problems from this worksheet?
No, sir.
No, right? Okay. So we'll do some problems from this. Just give me a minute. I'll be back. Okay. So listen, we'll do it little fast. I want you all to share your ideas, okay? I'm going to solve the problem in the method I get in my mind. And you people can ask me for suggestions, or you can give me suggestions saying that why don't we do it in another method? We are going to try in that also. But I want interaction, okay? Let's start with the first question. Do you people have the worksheet with you? Did I share this worksheet already?
I don't think so, sir.
Okay. But you're able to read the question from here, right?
Yes, sir.
For now. Okay, we'll start with this. So first one is a simple problem. Let's look at it. How to solve. So today will be the last day for relative velocity and vectors. After this, we'll start the next chapter, that is laws of motion. Okay. So concentrate. The length of a second's hand in watch is 1 centimeter. Okay. The change in velocity of its tip is 15 seconds. So in 15 seconds is. So first of all, what do you understand from this question? So there is a clock, right? So there is a clock. The length of the second's hands of this watch is 1 centimeter. Okay. The change in velocity of its tip in 15 seconds. So when the second hand is rotating, okay, this is the tip of the second hand. The tip of the second hand will have its velocity in which direction? Can you guys tell me?
So clockwise.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Clockwise direction.
Clockwise is okay, but I want the proper vector direction.
Tangential.
Yes. So if you take it, let's see, for example, if I take the second hand to be here initially, in 15 seconds, it would have reached this point. Right? I hope you guys are able to see this. So at this point, the velocity is in the tangential direction. Remember, for any curved surface, right, the velocity of the particle is always tangential to it. I have told this many times. And here also the velocity is in downward direction. I hope you're able to understand. So one thing that is going to be common here is its speed. When I say speed, it's the magnitude of the velocity that is going to be constant. But what is changing here? What is changing here, guys? It's a simple question which I asked. What is changing? When I say speed is constant, what is
Velocity.
changing with respect to time? Velocity. See, velocity, it's the magnitude of velocity is speed. But what is changing? If you look at the diagram clearly, you will understand.
Direction of speed.
Yes, it is a direction, right? So, change in velocity. See, I'm going to solve all the problems using the basic vector concept. Nothing else I'm going to do, okay? Observe. So, what is the initial velocity that it had? It had a magnitude of v, but in which direction, guys? So, this is the initial position, this is the final position. So, initially, what was the velocity the particle having? V?
I cap.
Yes, that's right. Final velocity is v?
Minus j.
Very good. Minus j cap. Okay. Then, what are they asking? They're asking change in velocity. Change is always final minus initial. So what is the final value? Minus Vj cap minus initial is minus Vi cap. So minus V into J cap plus I cap, right? But they're asking change in velocity in 15 seconds and they want it only in terms of scalar quantity. So since they want it in scalar quantity, how do you write it? So delta V vectors magnitude is how much, guys? V into root 2. That is root 2V. Am I right? So is it clear till this step? But if you see, there is no option like root 2V. Why? Right. There is no root 2V. Rather, the answer is given in terms of pi and all the other things. Pi is radians generally. How do we bring it?
Distance by time.
Okay. So root 2 into what distance is it covering in time? In 15 seconds. So I'll write it as distance by time. So what is the distance covered by the particle in 15 seconds? So radius is 1 centimeter. What is the angular displacement of the particle?
$45 I mean 90 degrees.
90. It is 90, right? So S is equal to the arc length is equal to radius multiplied with the radian. You know this, right? Arc length is equal to R into theta, where theta is measured in radians, right? So here S will be equal to, can I write it as R into, what is the value of theta, guys? Pi by 2 divided by the time taken is 15 seconds. Now observe what I'm going to do is, R is 1 centimeter. Since S is equal to R theta. Okay. So pi divided by 15 root 2 will be the answer, centimeter per second. Is there an option like this? Pi divided by 15 root 2 or root 2 pi by 30. Both are same. Yes. Did you guys understand what I did?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you're clear with the concept, we'll go to the next one. So I want you all to try this problem. Okay. There is a particle which moves towards east with a velocity of 5 meters per second. After 10 seconds, its direction changes towards north with same velocity. The average acceleration of the particle is, so I'm repeating it, there is a particle which moves towards east with a speed of 5 meters per second. After 10 seconds, its direction changes towards north with the same velocity. the average acceleration of the particle is. Sanjana and Rahul, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
want you both also to speak. So there is a particle which is moving towards east with a velocity of 5 meters per second. After 10 seconds, its direction changes towards north with the same velocity. So if you directly do the problem, you should always look at the requirement, okay? So what is given? Initial velocity is given. Initial velocity is how much? 5 meters per second in the direction of east. Tell me in terms of vector, guys. 5?
Minus I cap.
Why minus cap?
I cap.
5 I cap. After 10 seconds, its direction changes to north, towards north with the same velocity. What is the final velocity?
5J.
Okay. So what are they asking? Average acceleration. So average acceleration is change in velocity with respect to time. What is the time it is taking? It is 10 seconds. So first we need to find the change in velocity, that is final velocity vector minus initial velocity vector divided by time. So that is 5j cap minus 5i cap divided by the time it takes is 10 seconds. So 1 by 2 into j cap minus I cap. Correct? Which implies the acceleration's magnitude will be 1 by 2 into magnitude of j cap minus I cap is root 2. So 1 by root 2 meter per second will be the meter per second square will be the answer. Is there an option? Yes, every option is 1 by root 2 meter per second square only. It is not 0 for sure. Why they have given 0 is because many of them will think since it's the same velocity, answer will be 0, but they forget about direction. Okay, that is why it is given as the first option. Now the question is, 1 by root 2 is there everywhere. Now how will you decide the direction? I want to see. How will you decide the direction? Yes. Look at the vector. Okay.
North to east.
How do you know that?
No, sorry. North to west.
How do you know? How did you find out?
Because J cap is north and minus
Okay.
I cap means
Okay. So you're trying to say that it is second option.
west.
That's right. So the idea is very simple. What you told is right. So the particle was initially moving in this direction, then it went in this direction, right? There is east, north. Okay. They've told northwest. They didn't say north of west, west of north, nothing like that. Northwest means what exactly?
45 degrees.
Yes. When it is going to be exactly 45 degrees, observe, no? So when this is happening, the change in velocity will be in this direction because you can look at the vector itself and tell I cap has a negative value, j cap has a positive value. Which quadrant is it entering into? Negative x-axis and positive y-axis.
Fourth quadrant.
The second, negative x and positive y. It is second quadrant. Second quadrant is what? So if I take this, okay, observe. If I take an equal vector exactly like this, what is this direction, guys? This north, north. So here I am able to say exactly northwest because there is an important topic in parallelogram law of vectors. That is, if the vector is having, there are two vectors of equal magnitude, then the resultant of that will be exactly an angular bisector. If you observe, the velocity along east is also 5 meter per second. Along north is also 5 meter per second. So the magnitude of velocity is constant. Hence, it makes an angle of exactly 45 degrees with respect to both the vectors. Are you guys able to understand? All these are important points. Make a note. Whatever I'm discussing here will be a hidden information in some other problem. Okay, so please make a note. If there is any doubt, get it clarified. I think I've explained this already in CBSE itself when I explained the equatorial point concept. I hope you guys remember it. When there are two vectors of equal magnitude, then the resultant of that will be exactly an angular bisector. So with the hope that it is clear, I'm proceeding to the next problem.
Yes, sir.
Third one, try to do it. I hope you know the formula for work done. So force vector is equal to minus k into y I cap plus xj cap, where k is a constant, acts on a particle moving in the xy plane. Starting from the origin, the particle is taken along the positive x-axis to the point a comma 0 and then parallel to the y-axis to a point a comma a. The total work done by the forces F on the particle is. So reason why they have given it in vectors concept is because what is the definition of work done by? Mathematical definition. I'm not asking about the
Force into displacement.
don't use force into displacement. That into has something, okay? Force and displacement are vector quantities. What kind of
Dot
product
product.
does it? Yes.
Dot product.
Yes. Work done will be equal to force vector dot r vector. I hope this is clear. So use this concept and then solve the problem. Okay. If you observe one important point, is force a scalar quantity? Is force a constant force or a variable force here?
Variable.
Yes. So it is varying because it has y and the x coordinates associated with it. So I hope you guys know this difference also. This I would have explained in CBSE itself when I discussed electrostatic potential. So there are two types of work done. Work done is equal to force vector into dot r vector or f vector dot s vector. This is most commonly used. When will you use this? Work done is equal to f vector dot s vector. This is when force is constant. Whereas when the force is variable, you use f vector is w is equal to f vector dot dr vector from r1 to r2. All right. So you need to know the proper limits. The question is, how do we solve this problem? See, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use the concept of functions. Listen. So, how many steps are taken in this particular question for the path to be completed? Initially, where is the particle? It starts from origin. So, if I call it as initial journey, okay, in the initial journey, the particle is starting from 0, 0, and it is going till what point? It is going till the point a, 0, right? In this case, what will be the force acting on the particle? F vector will be equal to minus k into, can I write it as ai cap, oh sorry, 0 I cap plus aj cap. Guys, you're able to understand? You understood what I did? For this journey, I took a, 0 and substituted it in the place of x, y in the force vector. Is that clear?
Yes,
What is
sir.
the value of r vector? R vector is ai cap plus 0 j cap. So what is work done? Work done is equal to f vector dot r vector. So it will be minus k So in this case, you know to do the dot product. In this case, the answer is going to be 0. Right? Everybody knows to do the dot product, right? That is, you need to multiply the coefficients of I cap and j cap respectively. Similarly, when you talk about the final journey, that is when you're going from a, 0 to a, a, what will happen? So what is force vector, guys? That will be minus k into so this is the force vector. What is the r vector for this case? R vector is final position vector minus initial position vector. That is going to be aj cap. So answer will be minus k into ai cap plus aj cap dot aj cap. Tell me what is the answer?
Minus k square.
Minus ka square. So what will be the total work done? 0 plus minus ka square. Because work done is a scalar quantity, we can add them directly. So answer will be minus ka square. Is there an option? Yes. So minus ka square will be the required answer. Okay. We'll move on to the next problem. Listen. So there is a metal sphere that is hung by a fixed wall. By a string fixed to a wall. The sphere is pushed away from the wall by a stick. The forces acting on the sphere are shown in the second diagram. Which of the following statements is wrong? So this is a question which is based on resolution of vectors and balanced forces. Now I'll keep a red color dot. Tell me what force is that? What force is in this direction? which force is neither along x direction or y direction, that is the tension force. So it has to be resolved into components. So when you resolve it into components, the upward force will be T cos theta, and the leftward horizontal force will be T sin theta. Since it is under balance condition, okay, since it is under balance condition, what can you say? T cos theta will be equal to W and T sin theta will be equal to P. Accepted? Which implies if I have to eliminate T, then we will divide both. Tan theta is equal to P divided by W, which implies P is equal to W tan theta. Is there an option like this? So P is equal to W tan theta is right. Okay. Let's look at the other options. T vector plus P vector plus W vector is 0. Is that right?
Yes, sir, because all the forces are balanced.
Yes. All the forces are concurrent in nature. So for concurrent nature, the vector sum of all the forces put at a point is 0. If you guys remember, this is the concept from which Lami's theorem came. That we'll see in the next chapter. Next, T square is equal to P square plus W square. Is that right? So observe, that is also right, because if this is P vector, this is W vector, tension is in this direction. So if I draw a vector of equal magnitude exactly in the opposite direction, then what will this vector be?
Minus T.
It will be minus T. Now if you observe, is this not forming a parallelogram? Then can I write minus T vector is equal to P vector plus W vector? That we can obtain it from here also. Right. Now, if you take the resultant, then magnitude of T vector is equal to P square plus W square plus 2 times PW, cos of angle between them, that is 90. So this will be 0. You will have P square plus W square, and here you will have a square. I did nothing but applied parallelogram law of vectors. So which is a statement that is wrong? Obviously, the fourth one. What mistake has happened there? T is equal to P plus W. They didn't take the direction into consideration, which is wrong. Okay. Moving on to the next problem. The speed of a boat is 5 km per hour in still water. So what is that?
VSR, sir. The
It is,
weight with
it
respect
is the
to
velocity of the boat with respect. Okay, SR or PR, it means the same. Velocity of the boat with respect to river is 5 km per hour. Okay. It crosses the river of width 1 km along the shortest possible path in 15 minutes. Shortest possible path means how is a boat supposed to start?
perpendicular, sir.
It should start perpendicular. Okay, when it starts perpendicular, will it be able to reach exactly the opposite shore?
No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
When it starts perpendicular, if this is point P, will it exactly reach point Q or will it get drifted?
You get drifted, sir.
It will get drifted. Okay. So it will get drifted. This is the velocity of swimmer with, it is the velocity of boat with respect to river. This will be the direction of velocity of river. Okay, and this will be what? The velocity of the boat. So what is the width of the river? 1 kilometer. Accepted. So what are they asking? The velocity of the river water, VR, is equal to what is what they're asking. So we know that VB is equal to VR square plus VBR square. So accepted. This is from the parallelogram law of vectors. VB square is equal to VR square plus VBR square. So VR square will be equal to root of VB square minus VBR square. Right. So is there a data that we know? So do we know the velocity of boat? See, I'll do one thing. What have they given us? They've given us the time it takes to complete, right? So time is equal to distance by speed. That is velocity of boat. So what is the distance it is covering? It is covering 1 kilometer, and velocity of boat is root of what?
VR square plus VBR.
Come again?
VR square plus VBR.
Yes, dr square plus dpr square. Right. So time is how much? 15 minutes, right? That is 1/4 of an hour. Solve this and tell me. So 1 by 16 is equal to 1 divided by VR square plus 25, which implies VR square is equal to, why am I getting a negative value? So answer should be 9, which implies VR is equal to 3 kilometer per hour. Is there an option 3 kilometer per hour? Yes. So it will be 3 kilometer per hour. Yes. I think we did this problem on the other day, right? So it is 3 kilometer per hour. Similarly, you people do the sixth one. Do it fast and tell me. A man crosses a 320-meter wide river perpendicular to the current in 4 minutes. If in still water he can swim with a speed 5 by 3 times that of the current, then the speed of the current in meter per minute is. So what is the answer?
Yes, sir. I'm getting it as 60 meters per minute.
That's right. So how did you do? That's right, Rahul. Tell me the steps that you followed. So man crosses a 320 meter wide river perpendicular to the current in 4 minutes. So time given is 4 minutes. Width of the river is 320 meter. Then what else have they given? If in still water he can swim at a speed 5 by 3 times that of the current. So velocity of a swimmer with respect to river is 5 by 3 times VR. Correct? 5 by 3 times VR. Then the speed of the current VR is equal to how much is what they are asking. So how did you do? Rahul, how did you do?
Sir, I didn't hear you properly on connectivity issue.
How did you do? How did you
Sir,
do?
I have used this thing. Sir, I have used V of R square is equal to V of M square minus V square. The
V of R
relation
square is equal
previous
to
V of
V of R
M
square is
square
equal minus velocity of man with respect to river square. Is this what you used?
yes, sir.
Okay. So T is equal to distance, that is 320 divided by root of, what did you put? But here, VR is confined to the horizontal direction. Okay, you tell me how you did. Answer is right. Tell me how you did. So what did you substitute in the place of VM?
Then in place of VM, we put 5 by 3 into VR. Then
Okay. 5 by 3 into VR minus
80 square. That's P.
I didn't get you what you did. See, I'll give you a shortcut, okay, write it down. Wherever you see this kind of a problem, where the question says this word, perpendicular to the river, or it says that in the shortest possible path, if you see these kind of problems, no, the shortcut is time is equal to distance divided by, that is the width divided by root of velocity of boat with respect to river square minus velocity of river square. So this is going to be the shortcut. You can use this as a formula and then solve it. So what will be the time? Time will be equal to 320 divided by root of, what is VBR? VBR is nothing but VSR here. That is 5 by 3 times VR square minus VR square. This will be how much? So the time taken is 4 minutes, guys. So 4 minute is equal to 320. 320 is in meter divided by root of 25 by 9 VR square minus VR square. How much is this? 16 VR square by 9. So 16, so squaring on both the sides, 320 into 320 divided by 16 VR square by 9. This will go 20 times. 10 and 8, 5 and 4. This will go 80 times. VR square is equal to 9 into 80 into 5. So 80 into 5 is 400. So 9 into 400. So VR will be equal to, taking square root on both the sides, 3 into 20. Answer will be 60 meter per minute. So this will be the answer. So you can remember this as the formula: T is equal to D divided by width of the river divided by root of VBR square minus VR square. Okay. Next. So going to the next problem. Look at the seventh one. P vector, Q vector, and R vector are three coplanar forces acting at a point and are in equilibrium. Given P is equal to 1.9318 kilogram weight and theta 1 is equal to sin theta 1 is equal to 0.9659. The value of R in kilogram weight is. So what kind of forces are these? I already told you it is similar to the fourth problem. So all the three forces are acting at the same point. So what kind of forces are they? So they are concurrent forces, right? So for concurrent forces which are acting under balanced condition, then do you guys remember this? If this is F1, F2 and F3, is this taken as theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3, then F1 divided by sin theta 1 is equal to F2 divided by sin theta 2 is equal to F3 divided by sin theta. What is this? I hope you would have seen this, right? So what is the name of this theorem?
Lami's theorem.
Yes. So this Lami's theorem is what you're going to apply here and you're going to get the answer. So this question I'm leaving it to you. So what will be the mathematical expression, guys? R divided by sine, how much? R divided by sine. Yes, R divided by sine 150 will be equal to Q divided by sine
Theta 2.
That's right. So since they have given sin theta 1, I suggest you to take it as R divided by sine 150 is equal to P divided by sine theta 1. You have 4 values, out of which one is unknown. You can solve it, you will get the answer. Okay. So that is for 7th one. Look at the 8th one. So for the 8th one, as shown in the figure, the tension in the horizontal cord is 30 Newton. The weight W and the tension in the string OA Newton R. Do it fast. Again, the same thing. Lami's theorem. Apply it and tell me what is the answer. Do it fast. Siddharth, what's the answer?
Sir, I don't know Lamy theorem.
Same. Apply. You don't know Lamy's theorem. I didn't understand. You don't know Lamy's theorem is what you told.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You should have told me, no, when I asked. See, F1, F2, and F3. These are the angles theta 1, theta 2, and theta 3 under balance condition. When all the forces are acting at the same point and the forces are balanced, then F1 divided by sine theta 1 will be equal to, see, observe. It is like this. F1 divided by, I wanted to change the angles because you need not memorize it. F1 divided by sine of the angle opposite to it, that is theta 3, is equal to F2 divided by sine of the angle opposite to it, that is sine theta 2, is equal to F3 divided by sine of the angle opposite to it, that is theta 1. This is what is Lamy's theorem. This you can apply only under balance condition. Use the same logic and solve this problem. That is force divided by sine of the opposite angle. Can you guys tell me the mathematical expression? W divided by, what is the angle opposite to it?
So 120.
Yes, that's right. So W divided by sine 120 will be equal to the tension and the string is like this. So mostly all the forces will be pulling force only. So tension divided by sine of
30, sine 30.
look at the angle opposite to T. This is the point.
90, 90.
Yes. Is equal to the force opposite to 13, the angle opposite to 30 Newton is sine of how much?
150.
That's right. Now look at the number of unknowns. So equate W by sine 120 to 30 by sine 150. Similarly, equate T by sine 90 to 30 by sine 150. You will get the answer. You will get the answer for both W and T. Okay. I hope it's clear. So how to do the question number 9? A boat is moving with a velocity of 3i cap plus 4j cap with respect to the ground. The water in the river moving with a velocity of minus 3i cap minus 4j cap with respect to the ground. The relative velocity of boat with respect to the river is. You can do it directly. So they gave velocity, the boat is moving the velocity with respect to ground. So what is that? 3i cap plus 4j cap.
VB.
Sorry?
VB.
It is right. It is the absolute velocity of the boat. Secondly, The water in the river is moving with a velocity of minus 3a cap minus 4j cap. That is the absolute velocity of the river. So what are they asking? The relative velocity of boat with respect to river, VBR. It's one step problem. So even without writing on the paper, you can directly tell. So VBR is equal to VR minus VB. So minus 3a cap minus 4j cap minus of 3a cap plus 4j cap. Answer will be
minus 6 acres, minus 8.
that is the second option. Right. Next is the 10th one. So a person aiming to reach the exactly opposite point on the bank of a stream is swimming with a speed of 0.5 meter per second at an angle 120 degrees with the direction of flow of water. Okay. The speed of water in the stream is how much? So the person is aiming to reach the exactly opposite point on the bank of a stream and swimming at a speed of how much? 0.5 meter per second. And he starts at an angle of how much value, guys? 120 degrees with respect to the direction of flow of river. So this is the velocity of river. So this is the velocity of swimmer with respect to river. And how much is the angle he is making? He is making an angle of 120 degrees. So this angle will be 30 degrees. Accepted? The speed of the water in the stream is
Sir, are they asking for VR?
Yeah. Speed of water. Yeah, VR is what they asked. So what have they given? Swimming with a speed of 0.5 meter per second is there. No? Is that the velocity of swimmer with respect to river, or is it the absolute velocity of the swimmer?
VSR.
It is VSR. So VSR is 0.5 meter per second. And they have told an important point. He is exactly reaching the opposite end. So when he is reaching the opposite end, I told you already, VSR sine 30, right? The relative velocity along x direction should be how much? 0, because he is not experiencing any drift. So VSR sine 30 degrees should be equal to VR. So VSR is 0.5 into sine 30 is 1 by 2 is equal to VR. What is the answer there? 0.25 meter per second. So it is 0.25 meter per second. I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir.
So read the next problem and try it. A man can swim with a velocity of a man can swim with a velocity of v relative to water. So this is the velocity of man with respect to river. He has to cross a river of width d flowing with the velocity u. Okay, u is greater than v. The distance through which he is carried downstream by the river x is given by. So it's a very simple question. Okay. This is the width. Okay. This is the velocity of river that is given as u. This is the velocity of swimmer with respect to river, which is given as v. Okay. Due to both, what will happen is he will get drifted and he will not reach the exact opposite point, rather he will get drifted in the downstream. So what is the distance through which he is getting drifted? X is equal to the horizontal velocity multiplied with time. Accepted. What is the width of the river? It is d. So u into what is the time taken for the person to go to the other end? It is nothing but the distance divided by speed, d by d. Distance divided by speed. So u into d divided by v is the answer. That is the first option. So why I told first option is because if he crosses the river in minimum time, if he wants to cross the river in minimum time, he has to start perpendicular to the river. Okay, u into d divided by v, the answer is first. So I hope it is clear. Now look at the 12th question. There is a 120-meter long train is moving towards west with a speed of 10 meters per second. Okay. A bird is flying towards east with a speed of 5 meters per second crosses the train. The time taken by the bird to cross the train. So try to do this problem. Whenever you have two objects moving, right, whether it is along one dimension or two dimension, I suggest you to use the concept of relative velocity. So there is a 120-meter train which is moving towards west with a speed of 10 meters per second. So this is the velocity of train. A bird is flying towards east. So velocity of bird is 5 meters per second. It is flying towards east and it crosses the train. The time taken by the bird to cross the train will be. Okay. So how to proceed this? What are all the data that we know? Okay, I'll put the question in a different way. Okay, assume that the train was at rest. Okay, assume that the train was at rest. Then, if I ask you to calculate how much time the bird takes to cross this train, so how will you proceed?
Sir, it will be equal to the distance of the train divided by the velocity of bird.
Velocity of the bird, alright? Because it is like a person is running on those many meter track. It's like a person running on a 120-meter track, right? Now, the only difference that is coming into picture is the train is not at rest. But is there a possibility for us to bring the train to rest? So if the velocity of train is 10 meters per second in the leftward direction, if I have to bring it to rest, then how much velocity should be given to the train in the opposite direction?
Minus 10.
Minus 10 meters per second. If I take minus 10 meters per second in the other direction, can I say that the train has come to rest? Now what will happen is, in addition to the velocity of the bird, this will also get added. That is the only difference. So to put it in simple terms, what I'm trying to say here is, if at all there are two objects which are having velocities in the same problem, okay, then take the concept of relative velocity into consideration and then solve it. So how to solve this? Since the question is about the bird crossing the river with respect to train, I'm going to use S is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay. So where the distance traveled by the bird is 120. What is the velocity of the bird? It is 5 meter per second plus 10 meter per second. Why did I write 10 meter plus 10 meter per second? What did I exactly take into consideration? Can you tell me? If I write only 5 meter per second, I would have taken only the velocity of the bird. If I write only 10 meter per second, I would have taken only the velocity of the train.
Sir,
Here,
it is the velocity of the bird with respect to train.
yes, velocity of bird with respect to train, which is nothing but velocity of bird minus velocity of train. So VB minus VT is minus 10 meter per second. I hope you understood this. That is the reason why I wrote a plus and VT. Okay, multiplied with the time it takes. Plus acceleration is 0 because nothing is mentioned. They only gave the velocities. So time will be equal to 120 divided by 15. Answer will be 8 seconds. So what I applied here is the equations of relative motion. To put it in simple terms, there is the equation of relative motion that we have applied. So I can change it like this. Distance traveled by displacement of the bird with respect to train is equal to the initial velocity of the bird with respect to train plus half into acceleration of the bird with respect to train t square. I hope you guys understood when to use relative velocity and when not to use it. Right?
Yes, sir.
And you can expect these kind of questions also. Sometimes you can just solve it in 10 seconds. So is there an option 8 seconds? Yes. So there is the 12th one. Next. This concept I'll explain once I explain circular motion. Okay. Now let's look at the 14th one. So look at the 14th question. If magnitude of A vector cross B vector is equal to root 3 times A vector dot B vector, then the value of magnitude of A vector plus B vector is. So how to do? Solution. So A vector cross B vector is what? Magnitude of A vector into magnitude of B vector into sine theta n cap. So magnitude of it is going to be AB sine theta is equal to root 3 times A vector dot B vector is AB cos theta. So AB and AB will get cancelled. Tan theta will be equal to root 3, which implies theta is equal to how much?
Pi by 3.
Pi by 3. That is 60 degrees. Then they're asking what is the value of magnitude of A vector plus B vector. See, A vector plus B vector is triangle of addition. Magnitude of A vector plus B vector is a parallelogram law of vectors. Okay. So always remember this. Magnitude of A vector plus B vector is root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So that will be root of, what is A square? Nothing is given, right? So A square plus B square plus 2AB into cos of pi by 3. So what will be the answer, guys? Root of A square plus B square plus AB under a root. So A square plus B square plus AB under a root is what is the answer. I hope it is clear. Is there anyone having a doubt? See, whatever it is, please ask. Then I'll understand. This is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is everyone clear with why I told this is parallelogram law of vectors? Did you understand? This is not a formula or something. This has to be understood. Is this step clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 15th one. Find the torque of the force acting at a point r vector is equal to 7 a cap plus 3j cap plus k cap. So what is the formula for torque, guys? Torque as a vector is equal to r vector cross f vector. We have applied this many times in physics, right? So you know how to solve cross product using determinant method, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'll give you 1 minute time, solve this and tell me. Find the torque.
So it's option A, sir.
Option A.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So option A is the answer. Right. Next. We'll do the 16th one. So 16. 16. If magnitude of A vector cross B vector is equal to magnitude of A vector dot B vector, then the angle between A and B is. Do it fast.
45 degrees.
Yes. So AB sin theta is equal to AB cos theta. AB cancel, sin theta is equal to cos theta. Tan theta is 1. Answer is 45 degrees. Next. The vector P and Q are perpendicular to each other. The positive value of A is. So when two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then what is the mathematical condition between them? If two vectors are perpendicular to
Dot
each other,
product is
yes, dot product is 0. Do the dot product, tell me. 1 minute time, do it first. So what will P vector dot Q vector give you? It will give you A square minus 2A minus 3. So if you factorize it will be A minus 3 into A plus 1. So A will be 3 or minus 1. They have asked the positive value of A. The answer will be 18th one. A particle moves from the position 3i cap plus 2j cap minus 6k cap to 14i cap plus 13j cap plus 9k cap due to a uniform force of 4i cap plus j cap plus 3k cap Newton. If the displacement is in meter, then the work done will be equal to how much? So work done is equal to F vector dot the displacement vector. So how do you find the displacement is? So two position vectors are given. Then what will be the displacement vector?
final position minus initial.
So final position vector minus initial position vector, correct? particle moves from this position to another. So displacement is equal to final position vector, that is 14 I cap plus 13 J cap plus 9 K cap minus 3 I cap plus 2 J cap minus 6 K cap. Okay. So how much will the answer be, guys? That will be 11 I cap plus 15, 11 J cap, 11 J cap plus 15 K cap. Accepted? Force vector is given as 4 I cap plus J cap plus 3 K cap. So what is the work done? Work done will be the dot product 44 plus 11 plus 45. So 45 plus 11 is 56, 56 plus 44 is 100. So 100 joule is the answer. Did you understand this part? So when two position vectors are given, how will you calculate the displacement vector is final minus initial. So 3 vectors, 3 I cap minus 2 J cap plus K cap, I cap minus 3 J cap plus 5 K cap, and 2 I cap plus J cap minus 4 K cap are, do they form equilateral triangle? No, they don't. Because their coefficients are not the same, so their magnitudes cannot come out to be same value. Do they form isosceles triangle?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. Then do they form right angle triangle? For that you do the dot product between all the vectors and see. A vector dot B vector is 3 plus 6 plus 5. It's not 0. A vector dot C vector is 6 minus 2 minus 4. Yes, it is coming out of 0. So A vector and C vector are perpendicular to each other, so it forms a right angle triangle. Did you guys understand what I did?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, the same kind of questions will get repeated in your maths vector algebra also. When you're learning it, you will understand. The 12th standard, you have it, right? So similar kind of questions will be there also, whether it is CBSE or JEE. Okay. Next. There are two forces, F1 vector and F2 vector, which act at a single point. The angle between F1 vector and F2 vector is nearly. So if two vectors are given, the angle between them is given as the dot product of both the vectors divided by magnitudes, the product of magnitudes of those two vectors. So F1 vector dot F2 vector is 50 minus 50 plus 300. So 300 return 300 divided by root of 25 plus 100, 125, 125 plus 400. Root 525 into square root of 100 plus 25, 125, 125 plus 225. How much is it? 350. So calculate it, it will give you the answer. So the reason why they ask nearly is because it's an approximate value. You're not going to get an exact value. So you have to guess it. (21). So that part I'm leaving it to you. Now look at the 21st. With respect to a rectangular Cartesian coordinate system, three vectors are expressed as A vector is equal to 4 I cap minus j cap, B vector is equal to minus 3 I cap plus 2 j cap, C vector is minus k cap, where I cap, j cap and k cap are unit vectors along x, y, z respectively. The unit vectors are along the direction of sum of these vectors. So A vector plus B vector plus C vector is what? 4 minus 3, 1, 1. That is I cap plus 2j cap minus j cap, that is j cap minus k cap. Did you guys understand what I did? I just added them. I cap plus j cap minus k cap. So if this a vector plus b vector plus c vector, if you call it as r vector, then what is r cap, guys?
R vector by magnitude of R.
So r vector by magnitude of r vector, the answer will be I cap plus j cap minus k cap by
√3.
So answer will be first option. Right? So just give me a minute. Charge in seconds is over. So answer will be option A. Right? So remaining problems are simple only. This part I can leave it to you, so you can try these problems. So I hope you're a little bit clear with vectors concept, right? Yes or no? So is there any other doubt from today's class? Is there any concept that you didn't understand?
Okay.
So just wait for a minute.